Safaricom has been on a journey as we have evolved from a normal mobile voice company to offering data services. And we have, for the last 1 year, been focusing on offering data connectivity services to our corporate and enterprise customers. We cannot leave out the SME market, and that's what we are focusing on this year. The SME market, as per KRA numbers that we have gotten, indicate that there are about 120,000 or so SMEs that currently pay their taxes. And we know that with the advent of ICT and the arrival of international bandwidth here in the country, this has given the opportunity, it has given us the opportunity to be able to kind of democratize connectivity. And connectivity is critical for opening up the world of SMEs to the wider global audience so that they can be able to learn best practices in terms of how other markets are being able to grow, as well as get a public marketplace where they can be able to sell their goods and services. If you look at what is happening the world over, it is the should I call them the middle income bracket. If you were to look at it from a corporate space, that is your SME market that is funding and driving the engine of growth within countries. And I think, for me, from my understanding of the market analysis done in Kenya, that is where the future of the growth within the Kenyan market is going to come from. It's going to be driven by the SME market. If you also consider the large numbers of Kenyans, especially the young people who are not employed, there are not enough white-collar jobs, if I may call them in quotes, to be able to absorb all the youth that we currently have in the country. And therefore, the SME offer a big opportunity to be able to absorb a lot of these young people and give them an opportunity to be able to use their innate skills and abilities to actually create enterprise that will help them to grow themselves, even as they also grow the economy of this nation. Affordability of data obviously remains a challenge, because even though we have gotten a lot of bandwidth coming into the country, the last mile access still remains a challenge. And that's why we as Safaricom have invested a lot in different last mile access solutions, WiMAX, fiber, 3G, so that we can be able to have a technology that will suit every user who is actually out there. Now, with regard to affordability, that is just one challenge. I actually think the bigger challenge that needs to be addressed with SME is a lot of capacity, is the ability to show them what that technology can be able to do for them. Because if I think about, before I started using our computers as an individual, my understanding of computers was probably from what I read in books or from what I had from other people. And that's the same way I view SMEs. Until you actually get yourself connected to the global world and you see the capability that data has to offer you as you go into the internet, you can be able to get information about anything. You can be able to get basic information about how to run your business, how to do your basic balance sheet, how to do a profit and loss account, how to motivate your employees. You actually get videos and content from people who are probably experts within their industries. And you then open yourself up to a world of learning. That is what I think we need to cascade to a lot of the SMEs that are actually out there. And once they see that opportunity, then the affordability does not become a bigger barrier as probably it is now. Because every time now you will probably want to sell the service to them, the first thing they will probably ask you is, how much does it cost? But we now need to start changing the conversation to, what will this connectivity do for me? Because then when you see the way it is able to progress you and grow your business 100% or 200% or 1,000%, just because of the power of the information that is available to you and the global audience that you're able to interact with, then the cost does not become as big a concern as it was before. But nonetheless, there is because obviously you cannot be able to consume something that you cannot be able to afford. So it's also imperative that we continue to work on getting the cost of connectivity down. And this is one of our key priorities that we are working on together with the Ministry of ICT. We want to take the hassle of information technology and its management away from the SME. As an SME customer, if my expertise is doing photography, or my expertise is running a matatu or a sacco for that matter, I just want to be we want we actually want to offer them solutions that are actually out of the box, yeah, so that they don't have to think about the hassle of how do I wire this, how do I connect this, how do I make it work, how do I support it, what is the licensing model and everything. So what we have done as Safaricom, because we sit at a very unique place, being one of the only providers in the country that can be able to offer a true integrated solution. We can give you a solution with voice, with data, both mobile as well as fixed. We can also give you a solution that we can even now bundle in financial services, which are critical. So as an SME, we want to come to you and tell you, outsource all your IT concerns to us. Outsource all your IT issues for us. What do you want to achieve? Where do you want to go? Based on that, we then recommend a proper package that we can then come and sell to you in bits that you can be able to consume. Obviously, as your business grows, then your IT requirements also grow as you expand your business. But you want, the main proposition and the main unique selling proposition that we actually want to take to them is we want to take away the hassle of having to manage your IT, your day-to-day IT issues away from your office. You just concentrate on what you know how to do best. What is the creative ability that you have? What is that innate talent that you have? Focus on that. We'll handle the connectivity bit, and that will make it easier for you now to be able to grow your business. Yes, they are. You know, it's now a constitutional right for every Kenyan to have access to information when and whenever they need it and wherever they need it. So therefore, that means that now the government, especially now as we move to a decentralized form of government, the government moves services closer to the people and makes information much more readily available to the people. You can't be able to do that without having an enabler, and the enabler is IT. And that's the opportunity for us as operators to be able to come in and assist the government to achieve the objectives that they have set for themselves. There are a number of digital villages Safaricom has already rolled out. We have about 800 so far in the country, and are planning to roll out an additional 5,000 before the end of our financial year. And I can tell you, if you go to a village where you have actually put up a digital village, and right now the digital villages are very basic. We are just probably putting up an internet cafe where people can actually just come and browse, and that's all they do. But the opportunity it creates for the local youth who are within that area, because the world becomes suddenly opened up. You're not confined to your geographical limitation. You are, through the internet, you can be able to travel and go anywhere in the world and access a world of information. So we have seen that these digital villages are actually changing lives. They are opening up the youth and showing them what opportunities actually exist out there. And we actually now want to layer different services, e-health types of services, e-learning types of services, because the connectivity is there. And once you get connectivity, I mean, you've already invested in the infrastructure. Now you can do anything. We are working on e-health initiatives with the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Medical Services to be able to improve the doctor-to-patient ratio in this country. Right now, if you're out there in the village and you want to access good quality healthcare, you have to travel hundreds of kilometers to be able to access a good doctor. And there are lots of good doctors who are also in the cities who also want to be able to offer good medical services as a way of giving back to the community where they have come from. But they can't, because they are based here, and that geographical distance kind of limits them. But with the power of technology, you can be able to bridge that gap, and therefore I can actually be in my village hundreds of kilometers from the city. But through a simple solution like video conferencing, a simple video conference using a basic laptop and a small video camera, I can be able to talk to a doctor who is hundreds of kilometers away. You can be able to give me some medical attention and direct me on what it is that I should do. With the PS yesterday, and he said, my work now, my new job, now that he has brought the infrastructure, is now creating the demand for that broadband. And the demand cannot be created without content, because content is what you keep consuming every day, and that's what makes you continually consume more and more bandwidth.
Yeah.
The world is also evolving to the Internet of Things, where you have a lot of machines to machines talking to each other. Our customers are increasingly asking us for solutions where either through surveillance or tracking or just basic fleet management, you need to deploy a lot of data SIM cards talking to different machineries to be able to track and gather information. We are seeing now the advent of the smart homes, the smart TVs, your homes that are connected everywhere, and you can actually be able to control them with the touch of your device. So it's becoming an increasingly gigabit society where people are consuming more and more bandwidth, and as we continue loading more and more content, the demand for bandwidth will continue to grow. Now, there's obviously some key things that need to be done. There's some work that needs to be done by the government, especially in terms of digitizing. From the point of view of the government has to be able to deliver shared services to the mwananchi via using IT as an enabler. Digitization is inevitable. If you look at the education sector, as for the students who are out there, you have 400,000 or so odd secondary 1,000 students, and probably double that primary school students. If they have to access a world of knowledge, we have to start digitizing their curriculum, the past examination papers, and also providing devices to them which they can be able to afford, via which they will use to consume the content. Once you overcome the barrier of the device and you provide relevant content at a right price, then it becomes very easy to consume, because you are actually addressing an inherent need. If you look at content of that is being delivered to homes, entertainment, that's a big industry out there. And I don't believe, I mean, if you look at DSTV probably have about 50,000 customers in the country. The opportunity is massive, and as we move towards digital broadcasting, it gives us a big opportunity to be able to push more content to homes. So there's a lot of work that we're doing with a lot of the industry players, be it in the education industry, health industry. I mean, just think about your medical records. Why should your medical records be confined to any one hospital? They should ideally be hosted on a cloud, so that if today I come to consult someone here in a local hospital within Nairobi and I'm not happy and I need to go and get a second opinion in India, I just go and access my records from India, because my records are currently sitting in a cloud. So there's opportunity for us to be able to digitize our medical records and host them centrally in a place where customers can be able to access them easily. So we have actually believe we have spent the last couple of years focusing on getting the infrastructure, because obviously you can't start talking about content unless you have your infrastructure on the ground. But now that the infrastructure is there, we have 22 gigabits coming in through Teams. What do we do with that broadband that is being delivered? We have delivered broadband to homes, and I'm telling you, it becomes like electricity or power. People cannot live without. When it goes down, the hue and cry that you get from customers is huge, because it becomes very addictive. It becomes a way that you live. It becomes part of your lifestyle. And as you continue to generate more and more relevant content, then the demand is going to continue growing. So there's big opportunity, and I can assure you that we will not be left behind in the content discussion. There's a lot of capacity building that needs to be done. I'm quite happy with what Kuza Biashara is doing in terms of passing on education, or educating people or the SME sector through visual means, because I once read somewhere that what you remember more actually when you see, because of the visual collaboration and the fact that it connects with your mind much faster and easier, and it's easier for you to recall. So my message to you is that there's actually lots of opportunities that are actually out there, but there's a lot of investment that needs to be made in terms of showing the SME market what are the how technology can be able to transform and enable their businesses to grow to the next level. So you are definitely on the right track. I can assure you, as you begin to acquire more and more people, they will become inherently, for lack of a better word, addicted to the services, because once you go IT, you cannot go back. It's a step that you will always be taking forward. You never take it backwards. It's very important for you to also make sure that you provide very good quality of service in terms of the way you support, because remember that you're going to have to hold a lot of people's hands as you work with them on this technology journey. People consume it, will consume technology in little bits but as they understand, and that as they understand, you'll release that latent demand that actually exists within every one of us to want to expand ourselves further and grow. And therefore, you also have to ensure that from your side, you do not compromise on the quality of service by ensuring that you also have enough capacity to be able to handle the demand that will come as a surge. I can assure you what I see happening is that you'll start off probably with 1-2 people, then it becomes viral, and therefore you have to prepare yourselves to be able to handle that demand when it comes. But I can assure you this is going to be a remarkable success, because it's built on an insight that actually, and a need that actually exists in the market.